y'all again to another episode of the James Shabazz Podcast Show. I'm here with local guests, an artist, Brother Rico. You got any other names that you'd like to introduce yourself by?
Block here, that's it.
Alright. We are in the back of Wildwood right now, close to the Jordan Park Projects. Brother Rico, where you originally from?
Jordan Park.
Jordan Park?
Yeah.
Okay, some people say new Jordan Park, the old Jordan Park. You want to give a little history
The
on
original Jordan Park.
the original Jordan Park?
Yeah.
Alright. And you got any current projects or anything that you're working on? Anything in life that you're working on currently? Or tell us what you got going on.
Yeah. Life as itself is a project.
Right.
Be able to survive on a daily basis in this economic situation that we in.
Alright.
You got to realize, bro, we around a bunch of poor people.
Alright.
Poverty breeds poverty. There's no way to change it until you change the mindset of the people. I can have all the money in the world, but what I do with the money is going to determine if I'm known for having money or not. Once you get the money, if you don't do nothing with it, you're going to spend it. It's going to be gone. What's the use of getting it?
That's some real stuff. I see also just by me saying that they consciously made me conscious of the word project. Project is kind of like an experiment or what. That can be a good or a bad thing.
It can't be a good thing. It's never going to be a good thing when you experiment with people.
Right? Now, that's
You take a person and you put them in the position to where you want to see how low they can survive. Okay, let's look at the poverty level. The poverty level is $27,000 per person, one person, on a yearly basis. Now, that's less than making $500 a week. How many people do you make? You know, make $1,000 a week.
Very few.
Okay, so if you don't know, a few people make $50,000 a year, but you know a bunch of motherfuckers with 4 or 5 kids. So they 4 or 5 times below the poverty level. And this is what you have a project for. To see just how low these people can survive, at what level will they survive at. So what do you think is coming off of that? What did we breed in them projects? You can't be saying you're breeding doctors, lawyers, and motherfucking politicians, because these poor hungry people that do impulsive shit. These are the people that's breaking in your house, stealing your cars.
Project meant to make people better.
It wasn't meant for no betterment of the people.
Stack them on top of each other to see what happens.
It ain't stacking them on top of each other. You gave them somewhere to go. They didn't have nowhere. You got this. We trapped in a mentality that we came here on a fucking boat.
Right.
We didn't come here on no boat. Ain't there a nigga that you know, goddammit, gonna build a sheet up and motherfucking on some sticks in a fucking wooden boat and go 9,000 miles. You ain't gonna walk 9,000 miles without something to eat, but you gonna lay down and let the wind blow you 9,000 miles with a couple other nothing. We was already here.
That's definitely true.
We suffering from lack of knowledge. We poor. And we do everything in our power to get poor.
So you're saying knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is, if not the key,
Knowledge.
it's the start. It's the key to the first lock. The first lock on the mind. I would say first lock on the mind.
That's just like a person saying that you got common sense. How common is common?
Right. That's rare. It's rare. It's rare.
And what it ain't, because common shit is normal shit. So you gonna just be at a normal. So you telling me that all your standing point you gonna stay at an understanding instead of overstanding.
So my question I guess would be now what is the standard for normal? You know what I mean? Like, you looking at the world, like being a young brother, young brother, and seeing like the way the world is right now. You know how I grew up, you know what I mean, and how I see things, where I see things heading at now. And then you hear like we speaking of normal. We may be speaking of normal in the same hindsight, but
this is the
they
thing,
make normal
right?
seem so
normal,
crazy.
Listen, normal is crazy.
Right.
Because all you want to be is normal, you got to be crazy. So I want, listen, I want for myself what I want for my brother.
Right.
So if I want the better things in life, then what make you think I want to be on a common level? I don't want to be at the base level. The base level is poor people. So you gonna tell me that all I want to do is continue to be poor? That's a poor mindset.
Yeah.
We do everything, okay, hypothetically speaking. When we get some money, what's the first thing we do? We don't go and buy tangible goods. The people ain't concerned with how they gonna be able to survive next week. How many motherfuckers do you know desire to own their own home?
Not as many as I should.
Okay, so if you don't desire to own your own home, you can't desire to feed your family. You don't have a desire to be able to move beyond the project standpoint. So all you want to do is keep paying another motherfucker all your money, goddamn it, to just be able to barely eat and pay the rent and the lights and the water.
And how can we get our people this message? What do you think we need to do in order to? I think this is one step and help you because everybody's in their phones and on there, but
who controls the
media?
No, damn the media. Where do the people get their thinking from?
Whatever they see.
Where does your education come from?
It should come from your home first.
How can it come from your home first? Let's break down the 24 hours in the day.
Yeah.
You got 8 hours of sleep, right? So if you sleep 8 hours out the day, you sleep a third of your life away. The first 8 hours out your day, when you wake up, you send your kids to school. The second 8 hours, when they get out of school, now you got to try and make sure that they have time to play, feed them, and get them ready for the 8 hours that they finna spend back in bed. Now, who done taught your kid the most out of those 16, the first 16 hours that he's dealing with? Right? Somebody else that had your child around them more than you done been able to deal with them. So how you gonna say your child has your thinking? Your child ain't getting no education from you. All this education is coming from outside sources. So therefore they can either limit or they can, by their statistics and analysis, they give your kids certain placement and say, oh, this is where they should be and this is where they shouldn't be. How do we know that they ain't taken away from our kids by sending them through these trainings? That's not educating. That's training.
That's
the first step.
Be clear on that.
To educate means to bring out what's within. Everybody ain't gonna be a doctor. Everybody ain't gonna be a lawyer. Everybody ain't gonna be a fucking plumber or an electrician. But in order for the world to be continuous and to be able to expand and grow, people have to be able to expand on who they are. You cannot decide who I'm gonna be. You can't choose my path for me. Only Allah knows my destination. I don't even know it. I have several different paths that I can take. If I go walk down the straight and narrow, I know what's at the end of the straight and narrow. But if I wander and wander off on the forgotten path or the untraveled path, it's unknown. So therefore, we more afraid of the unknown than we are of what the people already know. Knowledge is a simple step. Knowledge ain't, just to know something ain't no good. So if all you have is common sense, all you have is basic knowledge, you ain't shit. You's a simple-minded motherfucker. The realities of life prove to you that here it is, man. I cannot just sit up here and say that where I come from and relate to a motherfucker that growed up on Treasure Island. There's no way we can have a communication because his way of seeing things is totally different than mine. Most educated motherfuckers, this is where we get the communication barrier from. The majority of the motherfuckers that get educated get themselves placed in position. Now once they get placed in these positions, they get afraid of their positions. A motherfucker that can help you and is willing to help you is gonna help you. But a motherfucker just telling me you can help me and not helping me is something totally different.
Right.
when a motherfucker get in positions to help, they don't help because they're afraid of the motherfuckers that's higher than them. Us, on the other hand, that live amongst chaotic situations in real life.
Now, why do you think they feel people that's higher than them? Is it the unknown? Like you were speaking of before?
Listen, man, I'm speaking of the same thing, man. These people are job scared. They're afraid that, listen, if I don't get to this job,
scared of stability. Or what they give them, the food, clothes, and shelter is going to be threatened, and who going to take care of me?
How am I going to
survive if they don't take care of me?
That's the issue.
Earth.
Everybody want to be employed instead of employer. How the fuck can you ever have something if you always working for another motherfucker?
And even then, we'll talk about a lot of them humps, but still away. If you do have to work a job, like most people, if you do have to work a job, at least spend some part of your day or your time towards starting your own. So eventually you can get away from that job.
What is the purpose of going to work? You get up every day to go to work because you know you got to eat, you got to have shelter, and you got to have clothes. So you get up and you go and you put forth the effort to be able to provide those things. Now, let's look at the job. Fuck that. Let's look at a one-bedroom apartment around here. A one-bedroom apartment gonna cost you $1,000. Minimum wage is $8.50. If you work 40 hours a week, all you have made is $320. So if you don't make but $1,300, $1,400 a month, how the fuck you gonna pay your bills? You got $1,000 rent. Lights gonna be $200. And this in a one fucking bedroom, and you got 5 children. You live worse than the fucking slaves.
Yeah.
The slaves live better than that. How can you survive off $1,200, $1,300 a month with 2 or 3 kids in the house, and you got bills and outstanding?
Like Paul said, we ain't meant to survive. It's a setup. That's the way that's listen.
It ain't that you ain't meant to survive. It ain't a setup.
But you have.
You have been surviving because here it is. We'll go and
surviving, not living them.
You ain't.
It's been surviving, better than making it.
Man, it's a big fucking difference between living and surviving.
Right.
You don't know nobody that done live. I don't know now motherfuckers get up in the morning and go to Aruba and fuck him Aruba and goddamn it, and they got to worry about his motherfucking bills and how he gonna be able to survive and come back and keep it moving. You miss one re-up is back to kick those and home invasions.
Heard that.
The money ain't the problem, it's the mentality of the people. You can get all the fucking money in the world, but if you ain't doing nothing productive with it, what the fuck did you get it for?
To shine on people less fortunate or just less fortunate.
No simple, listen, right? What another person think about you ain't no fucking business of yours. Right. So how the fuck you shining on somebody?
That's the mentality. That's the mentality that a lot of people have.
Where did they get it from?
Self-hate.
It ain't self-hate. The people don't even. How can I hate something that I never knew how to love?
Because well, they say that, you know, when you self-hate is a form. If I look in the mirror and I see the person, and we all kind of favor each other.
I'm gonna tell you what self-hate is. Self-hate is when I never met you before. As soon as you walk in the room, I'm like, man, fuck this nigga. I don't like this nigga.
Right.
That's self-hate. That's because I don't know you, don't know who you are, but what I don't like that's being manifest in your character are the things that I don't like about myself.
Right.
That's self-hate. So therefore, when I see you off top, I don't like the characteristics that you are so abundant in that you use to antagonize or probably to create a fear. But I'm not afraid of it. So I don't like it because I'm not going to allow it to happen to me. But that's the same trait that I also carry that I don't like about myself. That's self-hate. Not knowing the characteristics that you have about your damn self that you don't like about yourself. But you steady manifest them in daily life in order to survive. You do the shit that you don't want to do in order to live a life that you don't really want to live. You get up and go to work on a daily basis because if you don't get up and go to work, you ain't gonna have no motherfucking money. So if you ain't got you no money, you're subject to pick up your tool goddamn it and go and get you something to eat. You see the difference? So therefore, you doing what you don't want to do because you know if you do what you do want to do to get what you do want, you gonna have problems.
Self-hate.
Now that's self-hate.
That is a big, that word right there from the time I think from the time I heard Brother Malcolm speak on that self-hate, it made me start thinking and looking around at stuff different, like even with myself, you know what I mean? Like even with myself, and I see that being like one of the biggest things, and it got a lot of, it has a main core, but it has so many directions that it can go in when you look at it in the world. When I look at it in the world, and I see it like they say, how can you say you love God, who you never seen, and you hate your brother that you see every day? Now, we ain't never seen God before. You know what I mean? But we all profess that we love them and, you know what I mean, we'll die for them and this and that. But you see your neighbor every day, but you just can't, y'all can't get along. You have this strong hate for him or her or whatnot. But when I broke it down to me so much, but to hear it and then to actually see it is different.
Right? Apples don't hang out with plums. Grapes don't hang out with bananas. You should mix that fruit. That means don't hang out with people that ain't got the same type of thought pattern as you got.
Yep.
Don't hang with people or don't mix yourself with people that are not. If you don't feel about me how I feel about you, fuck you. Literally, if I can't come in, if I'm a friend of yours and you doing some fuck shit, I ought to be able to come up to you and tell you whatever the fuck I need you to hear.
Yep.
No matter how you take it or how you may feel about what the fuck I said, if I'm your friend, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to come up and cater to you and yes man you and be a bitch for you when you doing bitch shit. When you got niggas like that, goddammit, them ain't your friends. Them motherfuckers plotting your demise.
Frenemy. What they call it? Frenemy? Smooth shit, yep.
A person can admire you so much till that admiration turns into deceit, envy.
Just, yep.
But we steady getting this shit more credit than what it is. Everything we speaking on is an emotional state. You don't have nothing else. You don't have no fucking emotions, bro. You don't feel shit. Where do your feelings come from?
That's a good question.
You don't feel nothing. All your feelings come from your thoughts, whether you got positive or negative thoughts. If you thinking positive, then you happy, you elated, you on some good shit. But when you have negative thoughts, you sad, you feeling bad, and all that other dumb shit. So there's no such thing as an emotion. You either got positive or negative thoughts. Everything starts with the brain. So you gonna say that your feelings. What the fuck do you feel? You don't feel nothing without a thought. A woman can't break your heart, she broke your train of thought. I thought cause this bitch was with me, she shouldn't fuck John. But what make me give myself the right to feel like cause she with me, she ain't gonna look at John? I'm human, she human. That ain't the only bitch that a bitch with a fat ass than hers and a nice shape walk past, I'ma look too. And if she move the right way and do the right shit, I'm gonna cut her. The mindset of the people. You done been told that this is the way it should be. This is the way you should live. You should get, listen, where did the mindset come from? You should get a job, find a woman, go to work, take care of the woman, have kids, goddammit. And that's supposed to be the end of life. That's the only thing a bitch supposed to want out of life.
Now, with that being said, that's going to run me into this next question that I have now. With that being said, how can we improve on what we have right now? How can we improve on this? The madness that the way of thinking that we have right now as a whole of collective or as a people, how can we improve as a people? How do we go forward?
We need to start desiring tangible shit. You need to desire to be able to provide your own food, shelter, and clothing. Until every child born on the face of this planet with the same opportunities in life, you're going to always have division. You're going to have poor people, you're going to have rich people. As long as there's a standard as to be poor and rich, you're going to have that. Until you get back to a bartering system, to where if I give you my tangible or I give you my work, I receive something for it. That's the only way you're going to get back to that. Right now, you're in a system that's going to continuously keep you down. Instead of trying to get some money, money has been inflated. The price of everything going up. If I go to work and all I'm making is $8 a fucking hour, a gallon of milk, $5, I got to work a half an hour just to go buy my kids some milk.
You supposed to be all right with that. You supposed to be all right with that.
Gallon of gas, $3. You got to get back to work, back and forth to work. It costs you 5 gallons of gas a day. It's $15 a day just to get back and forth to work. For a motherfucking car, you got to pay insurance on, goddamn it, a car note, goddamn it, and some more shit. How the fuck can you survive? You economically deprived and you living around motherfuckers that's doing everything in their power to get poor. Instead of us coming together, 4 or 5 of us doing it together, goddamn it, until we in a position to where we can supply all 5 of our needs. We won't work together to do that.
And it's almost like it's a form of insanity.
It's not insanity, it's worse than that. You
Yeah,
can't call that insane.
Same thing for a couple hundred years, and we have not been able to get even with the Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have Black Wall Street and that got bumped. We have minds that try to progress or help propel us as a people or whatnot, but then it seems like every time we start going in that direction or have leaders that
Listen, it's been an agenda with the people, man. Listen, if I can't want for you what you want for me, goddammit. If I want to have nice things, I should want you to have nice things. Cause if I got nice things and you around me and you ain't got a goddamn thing, you're gonna be trying to take mine.
Yeah.
How can I be comfortable around you?
Right.
But where does this come from? I'm gonna be honest, I done been a dangerous motherfucker before. Literally. It ain't a bitch around here, goddammit, at one time, goddammit, that didn't know who the fuck I was. I was a skinny Debo. I had 2 hammers and didn't give a fuck who you was. I know how to live. I listen, man. It was a time where I thought, man, it was alright to be young, carry guns, goddammit, and die. I was literally ready to die. I ain't scared to die now, goddammit, but the mind frame of me looking forward to dying as far as me trying to die. I ain't give a fuck. I used to try the numbers. I'm gonna try you with your gun. I hope you got your gun, because I'm gonna shoot the shit out your head. But the mind frame of the people is, okay, well damn, let's be honest. If you're a drug dealer, you deal drugs. From a robber, I rob drug dealers. I rob stores, I rob whoever. Ain't no picks and choose.
Right.
So now here it is, but we gonna say that we gonna have picks and choose and ask who wanna be poor and who don't wanna be poor. I ain't chill. I didn't come out the pussy, goddammit, with the intelligence on, hey man, I'm gonna be one of these poor niggas.
Right.
That wasn't what was designed for me. Them people had greatness in store for me. When my mama would Before my mama was even born, I was a part of my mama inside of my grandma, who was a part of her mama before me. Them people had to bring forth something to get us to the next level. We steady getting to the next level, but the people getting farther behind than where we ever been. It was a time when we lived in peace and harmony. This ain't peaceful fucking living. When I got to be worried about if your son hungry next door, my nigga, he gonna break in my house and kill me by the bologna sandwich. That's peace.
Yeah. Shit,
But that's the normal everyday life.
Get conditioned after a while, like, you know, when we, talking about this right here, like, after a while, till we pull ourselves out of that environment, like how we doing this right now, and you bringing that up, you don't even think about it, like, nigga, look like this every day, like, you go to sleep.
How do you pull yourself out of that environment? Mentally, you can't be there. Mentally, you have to be bigger than the environment. You in order to listen, or you'll be a victim of it.
Yeah, you gotta be bigger than the problem.
It ain't the problem, you'll be a victim of society.
Yeah.
Economically deprived people are all victims of society because we all live in a povertized environment that the people have not been educated. You can't educate the people because you sending them to some motherfucking body that want to keep them in the same position they're in. How can I say that I feel good about sending my kids to a failing school system? That's what it was designed to do. But yet and still we wake up every day and send our kids out there, goddamn it, and expect them to be more productive than the last 40 motherfuckers. The last 40 years, the school system been failed. So what make you think all of a sudden this bitch gonna become a better system than it already is, and it's gonna provide for our kids what we need?
So tell me, brother, what do you think about what's going on right now in our city in St. Pete? What's going on in and with it? What do you?
Man, our city is corrupted, man. Listen, don't get it wrong, man, because everybody got a faggot or a junkie in their family. Our city is fucked up. We got too many motherfucking homosexuals around this motherfucker, want to be in control and want to motherfucking raise motherfucking young faggots. Not only that, goddamn, these motherfucking people is poor. The city is povertized. There ain't nobody I know around here, man, that ain't doing everything. Bro, these people get them some money, they do everything in their power to get back broke again, to where they're desperate to be trying to get some more money. Just last week, you was hungry, bitch, and starving. You get a PP loan, goddammit, and instead of you going to buy a house, goddammit, you go buy a car and some Gucci. Poor people shit. Yeah, lady, goddammit, you stand on your auntie couch, you done sold your Gucci and your car, goddammit, and you back home is looking for another goddamn scam. Once the scam stop, who else do you start scamming on besides the motherfucking poor motherfuckers that's right around you? You can't go in another environment because you ain't used to it. And people ain't gonna allow your ass to accept you there. You just had all the money they got them, but you back with the poor people. Why would they want to be affiliated with you?
That's what I'm saying, man. A lot of people getting the loans, man. PP loans and shit. I don't know. I just be scared. I only like borrowing money from my homeboys too much, man. Like, you know what I mean? I get nervous when they
would give me one. Shit, they can get a listen, right? I done did jail time for less than that, goddamn it. The fuck? Shit.
I don't even know how to go about it.
Man, the kingpins and motherfuckers.
They can shoot me something now, but I ain't.
And the motherfucker that's playing with $5,000 to a bitch around here, if you flipping $5,000 a day, and you can keep that in your pocket, a bitch will call you a millionaire. Because you're able to do things that other poor motherfuckers can't do, and you still just as poor as them. But you able to keep your money on a continuously flow. So you able to continuously go towards buying little things that you need here and there. The people think that you are a lot greater than what you are. because they put the value in the material, not the person. If you have materials, then people think you have it. If you got materialistic bullshit, then you have money. You got to have money in order to have material.
Right.
So the people ain't looking at the person that got them when they got the money, they looking at the person that got them with all the material. So if you ain't got them a materialistic person, then the people looking at you as if you really not nobody. And if you don't keep up that material image, then you degraded in these people's eyesight.
Sound about right. Everybody love you when you're on top, or when you doing something or whatever.
When you listen, when you
everybody love you then, boy.
Right.
Let you fall off, boy. You get talked about it. You
Listen,
can't.
hypothetically speaking, the nigga that's kicking in doors right now doing robbery, you know what I mean? He's a pussy nigga, he's a fuck nigga. Let that nigga hit $4 billion, everybody on this nigga.
Robin Hood. He's turning to Robin Hood.
Yeah.
The mayor.
The mind frame of the people.
That's so they say money make the man.
Money can't make the man.
Exactly.
The man is already what he is. Now once he get the money might bring out his true colors.
That is gonna be. That I have not seen that not yet be true. You gonna be who you is.
Yeah,
especially when you get to a nice little penny. You either gonna be that good-hearted person back when you ain't had that, or you gonna be playing the part like you was just this humble person or whatever. That humility go out the window real quick. I done taste a little shit. I thank God that He showed me who I really am. You know what I mean? Or whatnot. But that money come and go, man. It come and go. It's gonna come and go. You get it back again. Whatever you have to keep relearning your lessons and whatnot. But
yeah, but the thing is, what you gonna do when you get it?
yep. You gonna say what you gonna do when you get it, but when you get it, I know what I said. I know what I said, Lord. I know what I said, Lord, when I got this money. That ain't gonna change. When I got money, what I said on Friday, soon I got my little money, I was gone. It's easy said than done, you know what I mean? Like, people act different with you over a paycheck.
But this is the thing though, right? You can't say people are acting different with you.
They being who they was.
They being who they was. It's your view as to the situation and how it's taking place. You got a perception as to the way things should go down, and they do too.
Right?
Everybody, listen, man. We got a billion different people with a billion different mind frames, so it's a billion different worlds on this one world. Because everybody got their own way of thinking. Now we can agree to disagree, or we can just flat out disagree. It's never gonna be. If we was all the same, we wouldn't know of a difference.
Right. That's the truth.
Everybody ain't gonna want the same things out of life. And a lot of times in life, we gonna want more for a motherfucker than they even desire for their damn self.
Now, with that being said, I got a question or debate that's been going on. Now, not to come off topic, but it is off topic. Kobe or LeBron? Did you follow sport?
Yeah. Follow all that. Either way it go, you like a champion. I cannot tell you who to like.
So you ain't gonna answer that question. You ain't gonna answer that question.
For the people, there's no answer. Whoever I like or whoever you like, I can't be wrong and you can't be right.
That's a good answer. We'll take the answer.
Them champs.
I watch now that well, bring me to the mind frame. I heard you put Fury say something.
I'm gonna give you one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you
And I got another.
I'm gonna give you one. Buy the Chapo.
Huh? El Chapo?
Your president or El Chapo?
Not my president. The president.
Oh, listen.
He's
the president of the United
Biden
States
or
of the
Chapo?
world, and we citizens right now.
Biden the Chapo?
Biden the Chapo.
I'm gonna say Chapo. And I'm gonna say it for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean? For a lot of different reasons. Now, what brought me to that question is because of the Wilder Fury fight. I heard Fury say some intelligent stuff, but you know, people always asking people about playing or boxing people from the past, all the other champions. And they say that's fantasy. You know what I mean? And that's
That
also
ain't
like
reality,
it's all
bro.
that's not reality. It's also disrespect to the other champion because you know Jordan was a champion in his time or whatever. Kobe is. So it's like you really can't pick. But it's kind of like I guess just for entertainment purposes when people ask it because really you can't.
Once again,
You can't go
what
back.
you think
Yeah,
is
you know.
no listen. Whatever a person think about you ain't no business of yours because them ain't your thoughts. So whatever my decision is to say I like this or I don't
So you
like
saying
that.
LeBron?
Hell no. I ain't giving you no answer. I ain't saying LeBron over Kobe.
That's real.
I can say LeBron because LeBron done been to 10, 12 straight back-to-back championships. But Kobe, yeah, he done been check the records. The bitch done been there for years. Every year he was there.
That's a lot of.
Right, he just not started missing them motherfuckers. It wasn't the time they had a championship game that he didn't play in. Whether he won them or lost, he was there.
That is.
Michael Jordan ain't been to the 10 straight NBA finals. Whether he won that many or not, he has not been there that many times. Period. Win or lose, if you're there every year, you showing up every year. Some years you win, some years you ain't gonna win. But how many bitches done been there besides Bill Russell? So how can you say that either one of them are greater than him?
That's true. I guess people just, you know, in their mind, people feel like they have to have a favorite, or they gonna have a favorite.
And once again, that's your opinion.
Yeah. That is.
Whatever you think is your thoughts, I can't concern myself with your thoughts. Whatever your thoughts are for you, you ain't gonna do me no good. I ain't gonna get full off that shit.
I guess that'd be kind of like trying to compare Mayweather and Ali, or Tyson or whatever. Like when bro said, like man, everybody come from different generations, and you got champs from the 50s, the 60s. That at that point in time,
that ain't known.
Ain't no. But at that time, it was the great when it was happening. It was the biggest thing at that time that was happening that we wasn't even born, ain't know nothing about. But at that time, it was like what we doing right now to them. You know what I mean? So I was like, I mean, like I said, people be chasing like I guess people just want to have something to either, you know what I mean, to be involved with or do or whatever. I was like,
anytime you're asking someone for their opinion, that is gonna bring upon
controversy.
right. Because you gonna want to give them your opinion as to how you feel about what they done said.
Right.
What gives you the right to tell them people how you feel about their thoughts?
It's another one too. Like just in the you know, Popeyes and churches. That's the thing. Both of them too brief. They go to KFC.
I ain't
You
going
want to do fast? You want to do it?
I can do it, goddamn it, but I'm going home. I've been this, man.
So you gonna fry your own? You gonna fry your own shit?
Yeah, no.
You gonna fry your own shit?
I got too many motherfucking children that be talking about frying my own shit. Nigga, listen, man. I'm finna be honest with you, right? Basically, just okay. Roughly speaking, if you spend $80 a day to eat, 365 days out the year,
Lord have mercy.
how much money you done spent in 1
You
year?
goddamn money, tell you that, damn. Carry the one.
On average,
Carry the one.
you at like
goddamn money.
$29,000 and some change just to eat on a daily basis, and that ain't good living. This is how poor people have to look at our lives and look at what we do on a daily fucking basis as to how the fuck am I going? Okay, now that's a rough number.
And we got
If I just gave you a number that a lot of people won't be able to listen. If you have to spend $30,000 to eat a year, just to
how much is
survive,
that?
29,000. Like do the math.
Yeah.
80 times 365. I'm just off the top of my cap with these numbers. You know know what I mean? Just, I know numbers. But I'm just hypothetically speaking as to how do the people sustain themselves when you got to spend that type of money just to survive? You got to eat 3 times a day. So that's roughly spending a couple dollars a meal. $25 a meal, 3 times a day. You go to Taste of the Island, 1 plate, $20.
Yes, Lord.
How many of us gonna eat off that 1 plate?
It's you. You ain't finna get nobody nothing. I'll tell you, don't get about 4, 5 of them this year. Talking about give you an oxtail and a handful of rice. That's all you gonna get.
You don't make for $3.20 a week now. You can't go buy no oxtail plate.
Well, you gonna have to hit something on the scratch off or something. Well, you talking about you gonna go
You
eat
got
out
to
the
go bust a lick.
You gotta go do what? If they catch you out somewhere eating like that, right? They know you ain't. You work at the same place I heard you doing up here. Shit, you said something. You supposed to be in the corner store. Yeah, you supposed your bill in the corner store. You at Taste of the Island. You supposed to be getting you some packs of noodles.
No, ain't no
Couple, yeah.
You can't eat out. You got to feed yourself. You got to go spend your money on something that's gonna last more.
If you do eat out, you can't do nothing else for the rest of the week. Tell you that, you can't get fancy the rest of the week.
You might not be able to eat the rest of the week.
Yeah, you can't get fancy. I hope it's worth it. I hope that be. Now the best thing, your best bet is you got now the Chinese food. You can get you some good Chinese food. Chinese food like $8-9. You get you like 4 whole wings. You know what I mean? But that rice ain't worth shit after the
2 hours
first day.
later, 2 hours later,
You gonna be hungry in a bit. You gonna eat the rest of that shit. But hey,
you gonna be done spent the same money.
That rice ain't shit after the first day. You might go 2 days, but bitch, you try to warm that shit back up. Without no water too, man, that shit be harder than motherfucker. I cut my gums up one time on some motherfucking Chinese rice, man. But I said we need to get back
what
to
you say. You got to have some water.
You gotta throw some water on it. You know when you warm up something like that, you gotta put some sprinkles, not too much, cause you don't want to reboil. You gotta.
That's
you know what I mean? That's called the razzle dazzle right there.
That's
little razzle dazzle.
That done been hungry.
Yeah, I done been there. I know how to do it all, yeah.
So you know how to make something happen.
Make it stretch.
That's the key.
You push that all the way back to the back of the refrigerator so it stay cool. Now, look, I know this ain't gonna spoil everything, but you know you gotta rotate. See, I done man, look.
You done been in the chain gang. You done worked in the kitchen before.
Very thankful. You know, yeah, very thankful, man. A little water. And a little seasoning, you bring that bitch back.
Go back.
Bring it right back. You might, couple hours later, your stomach might be a little tore up, but you full. That's all that
right there,
what?
Made a turd.
Real shit. Show you. Real shit. What's going on, brother?
I was gonna say either that right there, you go to the meat store and get that hog head cheese cut thin.
Well, we gonna push no pork, right? But you back when I did eat pork.
Come on, man. Listen, come on, man.
Yeah, hog head cheese, you know, with the crackers, get your little juice. Saved your life. Vienna sausage. I didn't do the potted meat though. I didn't get to the potted meat because that shit just never looked right to me.
Old people shit.
If you gonna give me some damn potted meat, I'd rather have had the hog head cheese back when I was like, what they call it, sauce?
That's a mother shit.
Yeah,
sauce is another one.
Some other
type of.
But you know when they were making that hog head cheese, when you ever seen that shit get made?
Yeah, no.
Man, look here. That's some shit. Go look up how hog head cheese is made. Like he don't want to know you talking about shit. No.
It's a bunch of a mixture of all the parts.
They take the head literally and boil the head. All the shit off the face of that pig, that shit come off. And they put it all into a blender with some spices. Chop that bitch up and it come out in the block. They just slice that bitch up. That's hog head cheese right there for you. You know, I be from the country, so shit, you know, I'm growing, you sitting us fat back and all that kind of
right
stuff.
Right down that motherfucking street right there, man. Growed up, born and raised in that motherfucker. Mama moved out that bitch and I've been hooked on that bitch all my life.
I had to interview you, brother, because I done seen you come around, you know what I mean, like through Mars, you know what I mean, to the Mars meetings and whatnot, and, you know what I mean, I heard of your reputation, you know what I mean, about you being an older brother or whatnot, you know, you wanted to...
That's that, excuse me, I don't mean to cut you off. a reputation is something that'll precede a person. Because people gonna speak on the character of a person. The character of a person is always changing.
Right.
So the person I was 20 years ago, they can speak on that. You know
Right.
what I mean? I can't deny the person that I was.
Right.
Now, if you knew me then and you know me now, you understand I'm still that same person.
Right.
I ain't changed. It's just my actions might have changed. I ain't taking peanuts from peasants no more, goddammit. I ain't letting you bitches put me back. Listen, I'm not letting you bitches lock me back up. Poor people do poor shit.
Right.
Invite the mentality of the poor. When you poor and you live it as poor, you do as the poor do. I'm still poor than a motherfucker. I ain't got a goddamn thing. I just ain't trying to motherfucker put myself in a position to where I'm even poor. Bitch got to know how to live off the land on the streets just how he had to do it. You done been in jail before, boy.
Yes, sir.
Your mama ain't got nothing to send you, goddamn, because you was the motherfucker taking care
Y'all
of
told
her.
me they wasn't coming to see me or doing none of that before I even started going to jail.
So now when you get in there, goddamn, you got to figure out a way to motherfucker
Hustle.
make something happen.
Yep. Drawing
now
some
you
envelopes, write some poetry.
I ain't drawing shit.
I can draw. You know,
Man.
I was glad I could draw, but I had me a stack. I stayed with my little brother.
I can fight, goddamn.
That too, shit. You know what I
That's
mean?
what it is. Listen,
Oh, you going there and finna,
Fuck, I ain't coming in here to change. The fuck
Oh shit.
Bitch, I come in here for robbery or for the stop
Oh,
robbing
shit.
because I'm in here.
This what I want.
See, that's the thing, man. Bitch used to be talking about cause a bitch got a gun.
shit.
I done been in spots where bitch ain't had no gun. And that
That's it.
still was alright.
Yeah.
I don't know about another motherfucker, but
Yeah.
bitch, I was alright. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be alright, you feel me?
Right.
But that's the type of shit, the mentality of the people. Same motherfuckers that these bitches around here cater to and the people love. The motherfuckers be in the courtroom on stand pointing the bitch out.
I've seen that. That hurt me more hard. first time I seen
Kingpins
that
and
shit.
gangsters, goddammit, can have all the money, the people love them and give these bitches all type of accolades, but they motherfucking testifying and pointing fingers at motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, smoke.
We're gonna have to, we're gonna see. We're gonna have to do, you know what I mean, another part called, not just certain people, but certain conversations I see I'm gonna be having with people, whatever. You can't limit it to call for sake of for video storage space, or whatever. Like I'm gonna have to come back and do. I definitely want you. I'm gonna have to edit, but I definitely serve you and another sister because this is my third interview.
Right.
And all three of the interviews I done did so far, whatever, they done turned out better than what I thought they would. You know what I mean? Well, I'll be like, I'm gonna have to go back and do a follow up on what y'all doing for y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all done, hit on some subjects and whatnot. I think the people would rather see y'all come back for a second time, or definitely second time or whatever. So,
Definitely need to sit down and I really want to discuss the politics of our city.
that's what we're gonna get on next. I had some questions leaning towards that, but I guess it will be kind of like an introduction. I mean, Brother Rico right now, where he's at right now, what how he's thinking right now, and so we're gonna bring Brother Rico back for part 2. Y'all stay tuned for that.
Anytime y'all bring me on here, man, we talking about real life situations. I can't get on here and speak on nothing I ain't live. I ain't getting up here, man, and trying to glorify